You're dead, too.
Don't send me just yet. There is still one thing left for me to do here. With the help I can give, a young summoner might just be able to defeat Sin. Well, Yuna, I challenge you. If you cannot beat me, you'll never beat Sin.
I pride ourselves on being not a premium podcast, not a freemium podcast. I think we're actually less than those. So
we're a creamium.
A creamium.
A creamium. The
or a dreamium
podcast around. Ooh.
We're going to Remiem Temple, I guess.
Oh, I see.
I get it.
It is not pay to win. Unless
everything in this fucking game is pay to win. Literally, that's what I'm learning. In late game Final Fantasy X, everything's fucking pay to win. And I'm weirdly okay with it. Like, I think last week I was saying that Yojimbo is just guild toss with extra steps. But that's also kind of everything.
And like with dating mechanics.
Yeah.
1% of the summoners in Spira own 90% of the guild.
Well, over the past week, I feel like I own most of it.
Well, that's us now. That's
I was
what I mean.
ripping off that poor old lady that with the guarding the treasure chest that Carl loves so much.
Oh man, God, I wish I was in there.
I spent a long time with her. How y'all doing, guys?
I'm doing well.
Oh boy, I'm doing all right.
I don't know if you said it already, but this is a podcast. I think I already did that.
That
All
is,
right.
I think
that
we
is
did, like,
yet to be seen whether this is a podcast.
How many intros we want?
I just don't believe you.
How many intros you got?
I think this podcast could be improved by like a 30-second drum intro before the rest of us kicks in.
Every after last week, I'm down to haggle a little. So how many intros you got? See if we can make a deal here.
All right. What are we doing? What are we doing this week?
What are we doing?
Well, we could go fight Sin, but it doesn't seem very urgent since...
Yeah, I mean, people have been doing this shit for thousands of years. Fuck it.
They're currently voting on it, and I think maybe like in 5 years we can defeat Sin. Maybe.
Yeah, they have a little plan increasing our numbers up to 2015, when then we will defeat Sin.
Yes, all that with Sin... Sure, it's important, but it has to wait until we get Micah out of office, okay? I don't want your utopian, no more sin in the world dreams. We got to get real.
You're just too tired from the from the final summoning. We gotta
focus on what we can control, which is voting Micah out of office.
Hey, you know what I just realized? I do not have my headphones on, and I'm playing the audio through the speakers, so...
You know what's funny about that is we should be mad about that. I mean, we never get mad about that shit because obviously
it's fine.
But the other thing is we're looking at you. So all of us see that you're not wearing headphones.
So enjoy.
It'll be our next sinking one. We'll have to clap our ears, and then like everyone will immediately know.
I'll just bust my fucking eardrums like right at the beginning of the recording.
Isn't that like a bar fight move that like your dad will teach you if you're like not that strong?
Yeah.
But he's like, okay, I don't want you to get your ass kicked. So if you have a roll of quarters, you can put it in your fist to give it a little more oomph. And also you can do a thing called a sound check where you just clap their ears and disorient them, and then you gotta aim for the nose.
It's like a shark.
I've literally never been in a fight.
It's like a shark. You can only pet a drunkard in one direction, or you'll cut your hands.
Yeah, or you can use Batman shark repellent.
You say you only pet the shark in one direction.
Yeah, you can only pet the barfly in one direction, or else you'll cut your hand.
Oh man! So, dear listener, we're doing some side shit today. I don't know if you can tell by how
Sin can wait.
Off the rails this already is, but we're doing a couple side quests this week.
I'm excited for to basically have the episode that encompasses the most real time out of any of like our episodes. So like starting this episode out, we're gonna go to the Calm Lands, and by the end of it, it may have been like 15 hours of gameplay that has passed for you. It really just depends.
some time
Yeah.
compression happening.
Yeah.
And not only that, it could be like 10 hours of just wasted time where you're like,
It could be.
I was making good progress, and then all of a sudden the game was like, nah, never mind. And then I had to fucking do another hour's worth of trying something and hoping for the best.
Fantastic. I love that. Love that for you and everybody else.
So yeah, I guess we talked about the airship, right? And how we can find places. I mean, we don't really need to get to that right now because we're just going to the Calmlands, which is right there in that list.
We were just probing around for Baj last week.
We definitely discussed the SOF, or Sphere Oscilla Finder.
Oh yeah, the SOF, as we call it.
That's right.
The SOF that we know and love.
Yeah, we talked briefly about, or I mentioned Remiem Temple. I'm not sure by name, but I went there to get some items for a cheese strat I had earlier, which by this point in the side quest, that cheese strat means nothing. It doesn't fucking matter anymore.
Yeah.
Its usefulness has worn off.
Which is incredible that we'd get to a point in the game where like quad 9s just aren't cutting it.
Yeah.
That is not a living wage. Or killing wage, I should say.
Yeah, but so on our trip to the Calmlands the first time, we mentioned that there were several like offshoots, different ways to go, and one of them was the Stolen Cavern, right? But there's another one. That's
Stolen Cavern. There's like the ramp going down to the gorge, which I still think we can't get to. The Monster Arena.
Yeah.
But yeah, then there's an offshoot just to the right of where we entered Calmlands.
Right.
That is only accessible by a Chocobo.
Correct.
Via Chocobo. I said Baya for some reason.
Baya.
And yeah, there's a cool ass Shadow of the Colossus looking temple over
Yo,
there.
I love the look of this temple. I think it looks cool as hell.
It is super cool.
It's got a nice like a suspension bridge? Is that what that's called? No,
it's suspension everything, I think.
Yeah, the temple itself is like suspended on giant cables.
So when you enter, it actually kind of evokes the North Coral like Mako reactor kind of thing, where
see that.
There's just a giant fucking crater in the ground, and suspended in the middle is the temple itself, which is kind of spiry, and I'm not sure how to describe it. It's very pretty. Anyway, it's very ornate. But I think the entire temple is suspended by cables and wire above a spoiler Chocobo racetrack.
Yeah, above a Chocobo racetrack.
It's like we need to offset some of the loads so we can build some entertainment down here.
I imagine like the architect of the place is like, I do love my religion, but boy, do I love going to the track.
You know what else I love? Yeah.
Betting on the horses, betting on the bows.
What should we tackle first with this, I guess? Should we go into the temple or should we talk about those beautiful bows?
Let's talk about those beautiful bows, because like
those are that's just a walk in the park.
ooh,
A wark in the park.
A walk in the park.
A quay in the work.
Yeah, we crossed like a suspended bridge, like a what do they call it, like Indiana Jones looking ass bridge.
I love it because the camera like swoops around while we're crossing it and like shows the expanse underneath us and stuff.
There's
and
a lot of that this episode.
It's so good. It's so good.
There's those monkeys, which are called monkeys, apparently.
Yeah, they look like lemurs from Avatar, I guess. Like
Oh yeah,
Momo.
the Momo. That's right.
They're called Momos.
I don't remember anything about Avatar.
Oh, you should watch it. It's so good.
Yeah, the ponytail fucking is.
Oh yeah,
weird, but-
I remember that.
No. My brain
And Night
immediately
Shot-
went to Sokka because he kind of has the ponytail thing, and I was like, what?
You talking about James Cameron or? I was making a joke about the other Avatar.
Oh, I thought we were
Avatar.
talking about that one. I'm sorry.
Oh yeah, no, I mean that's also
The Last
good.
Airbender.
Oh, okay. Well, I haven't seen that either, so
Well, you should watch both of them.
I really thought we were talking about James Cameron's Avatar. Anyway,
Chocobos.
So when you approach the temple, there's a beautiful, huge arc. Now I'm looking at it, and like, there's like statues kind of embedded into the front of this whole structure, I think.
yeah,
It's really cool.
yeah, it's very nice.
To the right and left on either side of the temple, there is a chocobo on either side, I guess, right?
Yeah, and I like that. Like when we try to communicate with the one on the left, it gives us like Chocobo lore.
Here's the deal.
Here's the deal. Chocobos come to this forgotten temple to test each other's speed and skill. So I like that, like, it is a Chocobo racetrack, but it is not one that, like, humans have created or facilitate.
Yeah.
It's just of their own free will, Chocobos come here and then test each other's might.
Yeah, like this
Chocobos
is
are
a
very
part.
eager in this game.
Test your might.
Like when you even when you request a Chocobo, like one comes up just happy, skippy, and like really eager to get rode. So I think they live for the thrill.
Whomst amongst us is not eager to get rode. But
Ridden?
I like during the little it's not even narrated, it's just text on the screen, but it says, "You who are listening to this," the girl reading this, "you have been accepted as the true
Wait,
writer."
so does the Chocobo say this?
Oh, do you
Or
think
is there a sphere in the sphere at the back? Because
Yeah,
I
I
knew there
thought it
was
was
a sphere.
like a sphere that you read from.
Yeah, I think so.
So it's not the Chocobo.
I don't know. Either way.
I feel like we can definitively say that it is the Chocobo talking about the girl reading this.
It's the Chocosphere. But yeah, like, so it's our duty to fulfill these Chocobo's last wish for eternity.
It says it's a Chocobo custom that one must have a rider to challenge the champion that stands near the sphere. So it isn't a sphere. But I like to the Chocobos have a rule, like an ancient tradition, that you have to have some dude ride you to do the race.
Yeah,
What?
and not only that, but they also found a way to communicate that in the language of the riders about their custom. Like, what the fuck?
No, it's an Albed, right?
Yeah.
Oh, no.
No, I don't think it's an Albad.
No, you're right. It's one of those spheres, though.
Either way, I mean, that would still be the language of the rider, depending on...
Maybe the monkey wrote it, because there's a monkey, like, hopping near that
Yeah,
sphere.
there's
Maybe
not
they
really
put
much...
10,000 monkeys in a room with 10,000 typewriters, and eventually one of them came up with the rules.
Times. It was the blurst of times.
Well, yeah, so if we go to the one to the right, we can begin the race, but I'm just going to assume that the monkey is going to be riding the other one.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, wait, what the fuck? The other one doesn't have anything riding it.
It also says it seems to be telling you to ride it. I'm like, what?
Yeah, this is... Yeah.
Yo, so okay, before we get into the race, how do y'all feel about this race?
I think I would love it if the camera controls in this game were a fucking pain.
God.
So, like...
Yes.
Because, like, the camera does these, like, rapid, like, swivels, and you're kind of... I think this isn't like FF7, where if you just hold it in one direction, you'll keep walking in that.
Yeah, it's not really. I noticed...
It's a circular path, and you have to, like... The camera's moving, and you have to kind of constantly orient yourself to keep yourself from running into the wall or, like, accidentally turning around and stuff, or, like, hitting a corner that you don't want to.
Yeah. So basically, like, the way this racetrack works is it's like a spindly, like circular racetrack, and you're just running on
It's
these
like
small
an
paths.
Albed eye.
Yeah. And you just you kind of just continue along these paths and try to make your way to the center. And there's like different ways where you can go like up a way and then back and like kind of get around in certain ways to like optimize your movement in like ways that don't really like you. But the goal of it is to open up as many treasure chests along the way as you can without hitting some posts. And
Yeah, they're
like-
colored like ski posts almost that you kind of
Yeah, it's
mostly on the
basically
corners,
ski-free.
which make them easy to like ski free. There's no abominable snowmen,
yeah,
but which would basically just be a Wendigo.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah. But like Alex was saying, the controls aren't great. It's a pretty fun mini game, and like it's kind of easy to get used to, I feel like. But there's also times where like I would do exactly what I did the previous time while trying to open up like a different amount of treasure chests, and I would like I made sure to try and use the D-pad or like the Joy-Con buttons just to make sure that I wasn't getting any like weirdness with it that would like slow me down just enough to lose.
So
But even then, I would just like hit a post sometimes, like doing exactly what I thought I was supposed to do and what I exactly did the last time. And I'm like, ah, shit.
So here's the absolute bullshit with this that I hate so much. Because, like, I was like, okay, I'm going to do what Carl did and get those items to make this, like, equipment or whatever so I can get some,
the pendulums or whatever.
yeah.
Or the wings to discovery.
And
which
those
you
as
can
well,
use.
yeah. So
Those are very handy. I kind of wish I still had some.
So I couldn't do it, though. I was like, I can't I can't open these chests and get down. Like, I would like feel like I was optimizing my movement. Like, I felt like I was doing very, very well, and I would still be seconds behind the other Chocobo when it would get to the middle, and I would be like, I'm not even close. Like, there's not even like time I can shave off to be able to make that. And so I started researching online and being like, how do people do this? And watching videos, and I would copy the video and couldn't do it. And I was like, maybe I'm just bad. And then people were like, oh, by the way, the Chocobo that you're racing against finishes at random times. So sometimes he just finishes so fast that there is no time to do it. You just both have to play perfectly and randomly
also
roll the RNG that makes him slow. And I was like, are you fucking kidding me? I have to do a perfect race enough times that I do a perfect race when he has bad RNG.
Well, that explains a lot.
Yeah,
that's bad. That's bad game design.
That's really bad game design. Like
what is the punching game in at the Gold Saucer where it literally is just if you just hit the same
rock,
button over and
paper,
over again. Yeah, it's basically rock paper scissors, but bopping each other.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's no good.
Yeah, like it's weird that the Chocobo game between 3 iterations newer.
Yeah.
Feels worse the Chocobo.
Yeah.
Like, I think the Chocobo race in 7 just feels better because it's like over the shoulder from behind, as some people say.
Yeah, so basically, like, the goal of this is to, like I said, open these chests, and I think there's 5 chests total that you can open, and for every post that you hit, it, like, negates a chest. So if you open all 5, but you hit 2 chests, you only get the reward for, like, the 3.
It's correct.
And the way that the chest breakdowns go are, if you open 1 chest, you get an elixir. 2 is a mega elixir. 3 are those wings to discovery that Alex was talking about. Several, 4 is the pendulums, which can be turned into the master thief skill. You get 30 of those, which I think is what you need for that armor customization.
It gives you just enough, yeah.
Yeah, and then if you get all 5 chests, you get 63 stars, which is actually a really sick item. Because what you can do with that is if you have the use command, you use it and you get 0 MP use for your entire party during
or
a
1,
battle.
Right? Oh,
no,
okay.
no,
I think it's 0.
So the other thing,
so you can use this. I actually use this for Yuna recently, which is super great because I've been just customizing her weapon. But if you use if you use 20 of them, you can customize armor, or a weapon. So every spell only costs 1 MP.
Yeah, or you can also, I'm looking at it now.
Use 30 to break your MP limit.
Yeah, you can use 30 to break the MP limit, or you can use 5 to teach an Aeon double cast, which I guess with an Aeon wouldn't be too good.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think
that's only using black
magic. Is the only
magic.
one that has casts really that are like any good.
Yeah.
It's like the Agas.
You can also teach any of the Aeons whatever, spell you want or anything, but I can't imagine that, like, if you have Bahamut, using a double cast of Flare or whatever would be, like, as much.
It's not going to be that much,
just doing an attack with him where he's got, like, no damage limit.
Yeah, right.
I know you get the 3 stars with some monster hunting, which I've been doing a lot of to get to get prepped up.
Yeah, that's the other thing too.
But as I mentioned when we were talking about the Seymour Flux fight way back, when I went back to this race because for Wings Discovery, I got 30 of those. 2 of those does trio of quad 9s if you're Riku with her mix, but you can also use them to customize your weapons or armor, which if you use 30 of them, break the HP limit, which means right now with Auron for this episode, I have him maxed out at quad 9, but if I have the break HP limit, I think you can go higher.
Yeah, you can go much higher.
So
5 digits or 6 digits.
Now,
so the way that works is on the...
Or if you use 50, it'll give you will earn triple AP for fights, which is really handy.
Now,
that seems like the one that's worth it.
I was gonna say, like,
not enough for them from this race, and also, by the way, I did 3, and you only get it once.
Yeah, you can only get it once.
You can't farm Wings of Discovery from this race.
Yeah, I think you just get like a potion or something.
Yeah, if you get the same amount of chests, you just get a potion afterwards. One and done, baby.
I'll tell you, the pro strat here, boys, is don't get break HP limit or break MP limit. You don't need them. You don't need them.
Oh yeah.
Maybe. I guess it depends. There's a way to do the ultimate super boss without breaking HP limit, and I think that it's like preferred as being the faster way.
Yeah, I think, and we're kind of getting into territory where we're going to be talking about that a lot. Like, there's a lot of ways you can do things in the late game, and then there's the one where it's like, this method will only take you like 5 or 6 hours of grinding, versus if you try it the other way, where it's going to take you 10 to 15, and also rely heavily on RNG. Like,
and look, if you're playing along with us and you haven't done any like level grinding, which we haven't in the podcast, right? But now that we have Anima as an Aeon, like the numbers are now nuts. Like things have gotten goofy, you know what I mean, at this point, because we can just pull out Oblivion and just be like 7 digits of damage, fuck you. Like
yeah. Anima. Anima. I'm very disappointed that we didn't make that reference when we were talking about Anima.
But anyway, Chocobo races, fuck that shit. I mean, it's fine. It's not the worst. It's a lot better than...
It's not the worst mini game featuring Chocobos in this,
exactly.
In this video game.
Exactly. Yeah.
Or this video game series.
We've on the podcast, we've never discussed where Chocobos come from, right?
Chocobo eggs. No, I'm sure we probably talked way too much about this on the breeding episode.
They have live births. We already discussed.
No, I mean creatively.
Oh, like
Nomura's brain?
Like behind the scenes?
Yeah. Not that we should do it right now. We should wait until...
Okay. Here's the thing. We're going to keep everyone guessing no matter what. This is the classic redirect. We're doing Final Fantasy VII Dirge of Cerberus next.
Yeah,
we got to get all that hot Weiss lore so that we can talk about it in relation to whatever the fuck Final Fantasy VII remake games are coming out next.
Every day, Final Fantasy VII strays further from God's light. Like, there was one good piece of Final Fantasy VII media, and it was called Final Fantasy VII.
It was called Final Fantasy VII, The Kids Aren't All Right, or whatever, that Turk's book that I have
Final
that I never
Fantasy
read.
II, the Japanese version.
Final Fantasy.
The NES
That was
one.
for south of Kashwan Keep.
Oh, okay.
Although in the Game Boy Advance version of Final Fantasy I, there is Chocobo-esque statues in Cornelia.
Oh, interesting.
What happened to the Chocobos?
The statues?
No, it's the animals. If they made statues of them, they must have existed.
It's
No.
like a dodo situation in Final Fantasy 1.
That's what
Just
I mean.
because they have a statue, I mean, look around you. Look around your room. Tell me
Yeah, what happened to the Sphinxes?
Are you saying the gargoyles aren't real?
Funko Pops aren't real?
All right.
All right. So we can go in. We can also go inside Remiem Temple, even though there's so much fun to be had on the outside.
Oh, yeah.
And I thought it smelled bad. Anyway.
Oh, wait. Before we move on, I do want to talk about how fucking terrible it is just to start the race. Because, like, the first couple of times, like you said with the camera thing, it, like, really hits you in the mouth with that immediately upon
Oh,
you,
it does.
opening
Yeah,
the door.
it's
Like,
the worst.
The thing
You
opens
gotta
and
like,
you're
do
like,
a curly cue.
yeah, you, like, run in a circle and you're like, I'm just trying to go fucking straight. Like, come on.
Yeah.
It runs at the camera first and then immediately, like, does a bend.
Like
and,
less than a
like,
second. Yeah, well, yeah.
Yeah, so I think the strat that I use, because this is going back a couple weeks.
It's like trying to film a race car zipping by.
Yeah, I was trying to. I think I just held up and right
Wait.
every time until I hit like a certain point, and then I was like, now I
Yeah,
need to change
yeah,
direction.
same.
It sucks.
Wark, wark.
Yeah, wark, wark.
Did I ever tell you guys about the time that we had a math teacher that we hated, and it kind of just became a thing in the class to just do race car noises?
I think so.
Like someone in the back of the class was just like, and then like everyone in the class would do it. The teacher would just look at us, and then like when it died down, he would just go, "Are you guys done?" We'd be like, "Yeah," and then he would like start teaching again. Be like, "Okay, so the Pythagorean theory."
But the Pythagorean theorem.
How do you? What is it? Yeah, I don't know.
Pythagoras.
Believe it or not, I didn't really
Pythagorean
learn a lot of math in high school with that kind of stuff going on.
Damn, Carl. Pythagoras also came up with like the relationship of notes to each other. He's a musician, baby.
Oh yeah, damn. Well, I never really got good with music theory either. It's all just chords to me, baby.
There's only enough free time to get good and care about two things, and that man loved triangles and shredding.
Probably use tabs.
Yeah, that motherfucker used Guitar Pro.
So inside Remiem Temple.
So before we go into Remiem Temple, there's probably an item here we need, right?
That's right. There is a very, very important one for everything late game, without which we just cannot progress through it. Yeah.
Maybe even next week.
We get wait, hold on. Do you think this is a hand mirror or a like pocket mirror or like one of those 2x5 IKEA mirrors with none of the like just one of the plain ones?
Oh yeah, like one that you can get from Target or whatever.
Yeah.
I like to think that it's the shape of Cloud's head.
Because it is the cloudy mirror that we get from this. And this is a helpful tool that will come in handy later. Right now it does nothing.
Yeah, right now, like Curtis said, it does nothing, which I learned by when I got to the monster arena. There's a treasure chest that's just there, and I'm like, oh, cool. And it like walked up to him and it's like, do you want to
if you do a certain amount of things, it appears there, right?
Yeah. And
it's a
just,
reward.
It's a reward.
It still has a lock on it.
And I go up to it to try and use it, and it just says, use the cloudy mirror. And I say yes, and then Titus like holds it up, and it's like kind of cool looking and everything, and it just says like the cloudy mirror did nothing. And I'm like, cool. Cool, just fucking throw this in the trash.
I think it actually says not enough power, I think is what it says.
Oh yeah, no, it does say not enough power. You're right.
Not enough power.
Yeah, he fucking gave me a lame ass cloudy mirror and didn't even like charge it.
Yeah,
That's if I look at myself in a handheld mirror and like I don't like the way I'm looking that day, I'll just be like, ugh, not enough power.
Yeah, you got to plug in that USB-C.
Yeah, that's right.
That's Machina, baby.
I like that there's this big temple with many like spires and rooms, and like it looks very intricate. And when we go inside, there's one room.
Yeah.
Actually, wait a minute. So this is a temple, right? Like this is a temple like the other ones because it has a chamber of the faith, right?
Correct.
Why couldn't they all be this way? Where you just walk in and the chamber of the faith is in the next room.
They just knew that Belgemine was going to be the thing that prevents you from getting it.
She is the trial.
I don't think she is. I don't think you have to do any of that.
Yeah, you don't. You actually don't have to. Because you can walk right by her.
Basically, yeah, you can walk right by her, go to the back, and there's like a barrier, like I don't know, a magic barrier.
A magical barrier.
Like blocking you from opening the door. And with that, you need to get two... Yeah, the Chamber of the Faith. With that, you need to get two items to open it.
Right. So what do we want to talk about first? That damn door? Or...
Well, technically, you have to have all the faiths to open it.
Yeah, and I think one of the prerequisites for it is actually beating her, so...
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So let's talk about Belgemine.
Yes.
Oh, by the way, Belgamine's here.
Yeah, I think she said she'd be here when
no,
we
they're
last saw her
actually
in the Calmlands.
yes. So when we were in the Calmlands, and talked to her there, and I think we had a chance to fight her there. She said, it's like after an interaction with Yuna, she says, "I think you'll do just fine. But if you ever feel you want more training, seek the hidden temple of Remiem. I will be waiting for you there. Farewell." And I think there's another thing of dialogue where she can say, "The hidden temple, Remiem. I'll be waiting. Come, and I will train you."
Legends of the Hidden Temple
I'll be
of
there
Remiem.
for you.
I had two jokes at once. There you go. But yeah, when we walk in, a little cutscene begins between the party and her. And
what are you doing here?
She says,
Welcome, Yuna. What is this place? Remiem Temple. Once a great religious center in the Calm Lands, lost after the battle with Sin.
And Titus says, "And this is your home? What? You got something against company?" And it's like, dude, Titus, shut the fuck up.
Religious center just makes it sound like a rec center.
That's what I was thinking too. Yeah.
It's like, oh yeah, they have like Boy Scout meetings here and like pancake breakfasts and
some
fluorescent lighting and drop ceilings.
The DSA meetings.
Yeah, the DSA general meetings where everyone just argues with each other the whole time.
Some land developer wants to turn it into a mall, and so we have to save the rec center.
Yeah, so you need to do the there's now a mini game with the snowmobiles that we were riding, and it's like a cool 80s movie.
Seeing kids have shows here in the basement.
They let Dillinger play there once. Wow. That's a Philly gag about First Unitarian.
Yo, hell yeah, I love that place.
For our listeners.
There's a few statues around this room, actually, I noticed. But I'm bummed that there aren't on the other walls. Like they only bothered to populate the where the camera could see it, but when you're talking to Belgemine, there's like an over the shoulder of her, and behind the rest of the party, like there's just no other statues in the recesses.
Yeah. Now I will say, like, they're very neat little recesses, though. Like,
I think they're statues of the other faith. Like the one to the upper left I think is Ixion, because he looks like the Quaker Oats guy.
Okay.
Oh, neat. I think if I was Belgemine and I was like the only one living there and the only one who really like knew about this place, I would just start getting weird with it and like making statues of shit that just never existed, so that like when people say they're like, these are the lost faith or something, make it like a fucking like mind flayer or like a Cthulhu thing, or like, I don't know.
Sephiroth with nipples.
Yeah.
I was gonna say that. I was gonna feel like I would just find the Sephiroth with nipples and put them up. But also, Belgamine's been here in this temple for God knows how long. How do you think that she, like...
Well, you know, she's only been here for like a week, right? Because we just saw her.
Where does she use the bathroom?
I know, I just wanted to segue into the fact that she's dead! Like everybody else in the
Titus
game.
goes, you're a ghost?
Yeah, she shows us that she is also unsent, like fucking everybody else in Spear at this point.
God
at this
damn
point, it's like, yeah.
I do like, though, that the party now is also equally incredulous when everybody's like, when people start like showing off their fireflies, like Titus is just like, no, you're dead. Like everybody else is also just like, oh yeah, you and everyone.
Titus, that's rude. You don't just ask people if they're dead.
It's Homer Simpson reacting to Roy in the one episode where they just introduced that completely throwaway character.
Yeah.
Hi Roy. Yeah. Hi. You're unsent. Anyway.
But she says, do not send me just yet. And she asks us to battle with her. She wants to test
we got
Yuna's
a nice
might.
little Pokemon Coliseum. A nice little Pokemon Stadium N64.
Indeed.
We get our transfer pack. We plug in our Pokemon Yellow. We got our Surfing Pikachu. We're ready to take her
Fight
down.
her Miltank with rollout.
Oh, no. Talk about a coin flip.
What are the Mortal Kombat notes?
Sorry?
It's like G, G sharp, and F or something. Anyway, the point is, she wants Yuna to test her might.
Hell yeah. Oh, wait, I just started doing the Cowboy Bebop.
Cowboy Bebop.
It's kind of similar.
Finally on! Not really.
But yeah, I mean...
Well, I mean, one of the... I guess for us is our final Aeons waits for us here.
Indeed.
Yes.
But yeah, so the way that this works is, starting right here, we only have... She gives us the option when we talk to her to fight a certain Aeon. So we can actually like repeat Aeon battles here that we've done before.
I think it's the order in which we've obtained them, at least in the storyline so far.
Yes, because right now there's only one option in that list that she gives us, and that's Veil 4. And as we beat Aeons, that list will expand, and we'll be able to go through it all the way to Anima.
What's a veil for? It's for hiding your face, silly.
Hey...
That's a joke from the beginning of the season.
Yeah, did we already make that joke? That's not surprising.
Yeah.
But yeah, so this is kind of cool too, because like we can like heal up and save and shit in between it. So if there was a summon that you were worried about and you were just like, oh, I don't know about this one, you could just leave and go get an overdrive and then come back and then just pop the overdrive at the beginning of the fight. So like,
yeah, the other thing about it too is if you lose, it's low stakes. You don't get a game over or anything. And then the next time you talk to Belgemine, it's the same as every other fight we've had with her, where she's like, but first, and then she heals all your Aeons and shit.
Yeah.
So.
I also
but
like
there's also a save sphere right outside if you needed one.
True. And after every battle, she'll say some like individual quip and then give us some really rare item.
Yeah.
Or like something really nice. Yeah.
Yeah, it's like every other time we fought her, which is, you've made some progress, and for that, I'm glad. Take this. It may come in handy.
Yep. Then get lightning gems for beating Veil 4. Like, I don't know, we don't really need to go through each of the Aeon fights, right? We've already done them. They're the same.
Yeah, they're all pretty simple, I think, for the most part. And then, like you were saying, Curtis, like, you can kind of just go right out into the Calm Lands and, like, build up all of your overdrive on your Aeon. So by the time you get to like the actual tough ones, you can just be like, all right, go Bahamut, Mega Flare, go Anima, use Oblivion.
Right.
Like really not. I was expecting it to be a little more difficult, and then I was like, oh yeah, no, this is fine.
Oh, did I tell you all what I named Anima? I don't remember if I said so or not.
Oh, I don't think we did, no. And I didn't get Anima at the end of last episode. I have since done that. And I also named it, so we can trade our names back and forth.
What did you name Anima?
I named my Anima Mama. That's Mama.
I named it The Big Show.
Yeah, that's really good.
I named mine Animal. I just added an L to the end.
Animal. Yeah, I just have like a picture of like it doing the move Pain to Bahamut, and you just see like the name down here is Big Show.
Hell yeah, that's great.
But I think I forgot to mention that there is also an Albed Primer outside. Volume 24.
Yeah, I think it's near the Master Chocobo, right? I might be wrong about that. Mr. Chocobo.
But yeah, I just brought that up because on the list of items you can get, there's some good things, like we said, the Lightning Gem, Summer Soul if you didn't get it at the Calmlands when we fought her, Power Spheres, which are good.
Dude, you
Aeons
can get like 60 Mega Elixirs.
60 Mega Elixirs?
I believe that's right. Is that right? Let me look. You can get a lot of crazy shit.
I do have a lot of Mega
30
Elixirs.
X potions. Yeah.
I forget where I got it.
60 Mega Potions. 60 Mega Potions.
I was going to say, Mega Elixirs are very useful for customization, but I don't think they're on. I don't think you can get them from her.
This is Mega Potions.
I have a bunch of them, and I don't remember where I got them. I probably, I don't know.
But yeah,
maybe it doesn't matter.
I feel like this just shows too that like this is all for customization at this point, because for casual games, 60 Mega Potions is like, I will never die again. Like I'll just throw a fucking Mega Potion every turn.
But yeah, so because I have Anima, to get this item that we need to unlock the Chamber of the Faith is pretty easy. Because like we fight her Veilfor, then we fight her Ifrit, her Ixion, her Shiver, and then her Bahamut. And then if you defeat her Bahamut, she gives you the Flower Scepter, which is what we need to get into the Chamber of the Faith.
Well, it allows you to dispel one of the barriers, and like once you do it, it's like, oh, but there's another barrier up. And I was like, are you fucking kidding me? You like still can't get in.
So there's another thing we have to do, right?
Yeah, there are two barriers to get in.
So I didn't realize that you could walk around her, so I just thought you had to go through and defeat all of her Aeons to do anything. Yeah. And then it just kept triggering like the fight and everything, and I was like, oh. So I don't know how to get to the back of the... And then I was like, oh, you just walk around. And at that point, I had like all of the tools necessary, so I was just like, oh, that makes sense. I
guess to unlock it, we do need Yojimbo and Anima, so...
Correct.
Those Aeons of hers will not be available to fight, so we will not be able to get this...
Yeah, which makes sense, right?
The Moon Sigil, I think it's called, right?
Yeah, so it makes sense that the game wouldn't show you Aeons that you haven't seen before, right?
Spoiler.
Like, that makes sense, right?
Yeah.
Maybe.
Unless there's an extra Aeon that we're going to be talking about today that you can find if you just fucking go to Mushroom Rock Road in the HD version where there's the dark version of it. And I was like, what the fuck is this shit?
The dark one is already there? That's amazing.
Yeah, and I was just like talking to people. I'm like, oh, let's see what kind of dialogue these people have. And I talked and they just like surrounded me, and then 3 fucking things appear in front of me, and I was like, oh my god, I have no idea what's going on.
So this happened to be on stream because I was like farming I was trying to get make some no encounter armor because of a thing later this episode. So I was trying to get 4 of every dragon in every area.
Yeah. Which
rewards you with purifying salts. And so I was like, okay, cool, I got everything I need at Mihan. So like Mushroom Rock Road is only 2 screens away, and as you're walking past basically where we meet Seymour, I think for the second time, like after he lets us through the barrier or whatever. And like we basically get sideswiped and just completely just attacked by these super Aeons, which we'll talk about later.
Yeah.
And I was on stream and I was like, what the fuck is happening? Because I had no chance to attack at all. It just used its final like
did it really?
Immediately. It took so long.
That's incredible. That's great. Yeah,
So yes, we can see some evil versions
Dark
of
Aeons. What the fuck were they thinking? Anyway.
So thank you to Cloud to making sure I did not accidentally run into other Dark Aeons on stream while I was collecting dragons.
So
I did notice that a lot of the places where you fight Dark Aeons, I think you actually trigger them to like you have to talk to someone there to
a lot
like,
of times.
in the Thunder Plains, like you have to talk to them and then it's like, oh, this triggers the battle. Except for the Besaid one, which is a place that you presumably might have to go back to, and that's just unavoidable.
That one, the one in Xanarkand, and the one in Lake Makalania are all just like you just walk around and then there they are.
Oof.
Yeah.
Oh right, yeah.
But like we were saying, there's another barrier on this door, right? And to open it, we have to get the Blossom Crown, and like it's fine. It's not a big deal. If you're doing all the extra shit, you're probably going to do all the extra shit anyway. But it's a little weird to me that there are no hints of what that is or where to find it. So you could just travel the whole world looking at every screen, doing everything, and never fucking find it. And just be like, how do you get in this fucking door? But that's what we're here for as a podcast, is to...
I think I accidentally had this. I thought I got it from Belgemine because I just got lucky. Because I was doing all this Monster Arena stuff.
Monster Arena! But you have to capture, I think it's 4? Hold on. Or maybe it's 1. I gotta look it up.
One of each fiend at Mount Gagazet. And
Yep.
that includes the caves, which I forgot about.
Right.
Yeah.
So once
I was like, oh yeah, just going up the mountain, no problem. But I forgot there's a cave at the top that I need to go through.
So once you use your capturing weapons and defeat one of each enemy on Mount Gagazet, you can come back to the Monster Arena, and then they will give you the Blossom Crown. And you can use that to open that final door.
Hell yeah.
And I guess we should discuss what is inside. Well, actually, I mean, like, we don't actually get to walk into this chamber. We just see Yuna go in and then come back out.
Well, we can go in right after, though.
Can we?
It's true. Yeah.
Yep, just like every Chamber of the Faith in this game now.
Oh, goddamn.
Yeah, you can go back and talk to the Faith, and they usually give you a pretty cool item as well.
Well, what happens in this one?
Well, first,
Titus
waits outside like a gentleman
That's right.
for Yuna to get her
Get her Faith on.
Aeon singular.
Aeons.
It's a team.
It's a
is a team.
I love it. Yeah, it's one summon that actually gives us 3 Aeons at once that work entirely differently this time too. Very interesting. So this is the Magus Sisters.
The Magus Sisters. And you can name each of them separately.
Yeah, you can.
Yeah, did you guys name them?
I sure did.
All right. So the canonical names are Cindy, Sandy, and Mindy, right?
That's right.
Yes.
Yeah. So do you guys want to tell me what you named them?
I named them Huey, Dewey, and Louie.
Oh, that's really good. What about you, Alex?
I did not rename mine because I was on stream and got performance anxiety.
Oh, fair. That's I renamed them. And the first one was Cindy, so I named it Bindi with a B. And then there was Sandy, and I was like, oh, I could do Bandy, but that's
Bandy.
So I didn't do Bandy. Instead, I did Sandby. And then I think Mindy is the last one, right?
Yeah.
I was like, well, Mindy, Bindi, like I already have a Bindi. That doesn't really make sense. So I did the most obvious next name, which was Karl Marx. So I got Bindi, Sandby, and Karl Marx, everyone's favorite sisters.
Lovely. I love it.
Is Sandby the actual one that looks like a bee?
I don't no.
Oh, I'll tell you what I do love.
So we
she
should
looks
mention
like the
their
grasshopper
theme.
kind of thing, I
Yeah.
guess.
So they're bug people, right?
They're like bug superheroes. They're like
Yeah.
Like bug sentais. Yeah.
Yeah.
Which I actually also think they might be a. Hold on.
I think they're in other games as well.
They're definitely in 4. Yeah.
Their overdrive is a reference, I think, to the 4.
Yeah.
Blue crystal, whatever the crystals are.
Bless the crystals.
But yeah, they are bug themed. There's like kind of a more rounder, like
Ladybug style.
ladybug, one.
There's
and
the super
like
tall one.
The praying mantis type one. That's
The one
really
that's a little
cool.
nice with it.
And like a little bee. It's like the little short one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like her. She got little pinchers and a little spiky butt.
Yeah.
They each have their own. They have an interesting
Yeah.
Way of using
battle
them.
behavior. So I think these last 2, or I guess 3, Aeons kind of do their own thing. like Yojimbo, you can't really teach him spells because you just pay him to attack and that's it.
Right.
With these guys, you think you kind of call shots almost like a coach.
Yeah, right. So they are picking their own attacks, and you can suggest what to do to them, but they don't necessarily have to do what you suggest, but they will take your suggestion, right? Like they'll be like,
Yeah.
oh, okay. Oh, and so you could be like, hey, you should do something highly damaging, or like, hey, one of the other ones is injured, you should just step back and heal and use protective stuff. Or you can literally tell them to do whatever they want, and it'll just like pick randomly. And each of them have their own set of skills too. So like one of them can cast auto life. Like I think what are the names of
Ladybug?
The Ladybug has like good like defensive skills and like auto life and stuff like
I think Cindy is
Cindy's the bee, right?
Yeah, I think Cindy's the first one. So the tall bee lady or whatever.
The tall one's Sandy, right?
Oh, the tall one's Sandy. Okay, so Cindy is the round one, I believe.
Cindy is the round one.
Okay.
Sandy is the tall one.
And Mindy's
Mindy
like
is
the
the
little
bee.
Okay. Gotcha.
Karl Marx is the bee. as we all know.
Because it's a worker bee.
I see.
That's a good gag. Fuck you, Carl.
No, it is a good gag, and I didn't even like think of it because I had no frame of reference for what any of these fucking things were when I named them. And I was like, oh, that actually kind of works out.
Sandy.
I was just like, I did a joke and like winked, and you're like deeply in thought about something, and I was like,
No.
fuck you.
I'm just trying to figure out the best way to describe what these like abilities are because it's just math.
So Cindy
like,
is like the white mage. She does kind of like the auto life spells and like other. I think she does some sort of protect. I think she's also maybe do reflect as well. Mindy does black magic and defense. Sandy is physical attacks and support white magic.
So like in my first usage of them, Sandy cast reflect on Cindy, and then Cindy started like firing her attacks on herself to reflect it onto the enemy, which raises the power, which is really cool. And then I was like, I'm gonna use that fucking strategy.
Yeah. It's really smart. Like they kind of like, it's cool because like they have an AI, but it seems to be like a relatively intelligent AI. Like it has like neat
you would
scripts
think
in there.
until you get to a boss that absorbs water and is very difficult, and they just start
keep casting it,
using reflecting wateraga or waterga or whatever over and fucking over again, and I'm just like, stop, please.
Oh no.
Yeah, I don't really enjoy using them mostly because of kind of how much agency they have for themselves and not making smart decisions. Like sometimes they'll just say, I'm taking a break, and like won't do anything. Like, you're gonna die. You need to like revive someone.
What they do have is Sandy has an attack called Razia, which just does fuckloads of damage. By the way, they can break the damage limit. That's the other thing too. So they can just like put in numbers. And Razia is a huge attack. It does a lot of damage.
It does 21 over 16 of the normal attack power that targets one opponent.
Yeah.
So like it'll do like well over the amount of damage that it like just any normal attack on that thing. So if you're like dumping attack power into Sandy, she can just fucking destroy things.
Yeah. And then Mindy has one called Pasado. And it's a multi-hit skill. So if she's doing enough damage each time, like it'll do a lot of damage as well.
Yeah, it does 1/8 the normal attack power, which isn't that much, but it hits 15 times. So again, if you dump a lot of power into Mindy / Karl Marx, then that can just deal insane amounts of damage.
Right. And then they have their overdrive, which their overdrive bars are separate. So like
you have to give them all three of them charged in order to do this super attack called Delta, I think, right?
Yeah. Delta attack is just called Delta.
It is Delta Attack.
That's right. Yeah. Instead of using overdrive, you ask them to combine powers. Is the name of the actual.
It's the coach thing that you say.
Yeah.
And that does a lot of damage as well.
It does a ton.
That's another multi-hit.
Yeah, it's another one of those that can like not only break the damage limit, it can break the limit of the damage broken limit. Like
yeah.
It can
so
do
this
a lot.
is like a super boss killer. I mean, there's a lot of RNG to it.
Yeah.
But at the same time, another really useful skill is to say like do the same thing that you did last time. So if you get like what's it called? Like Razia, Razia or Pasado. Like, you can just be like, hey, do that again. Like, just keep doing that and it builds up their overdrive, so then they can,
So
yeah, I got to see Delta attack on the receiving end.
Yeah.
When I first saw it.
Oh no.
Yeah.
Speaking of which, once we get them, they appear as an option in Belgamine's list. Right?
Yep.
Oh yeah.
And then when we defeat them,
By just having Anima just attack.
right? Yeah, that's exactly what I did too. I was just like, Oblivion, it's fine.
Yep.
But once we beat them, as always, she congratulates us. She gives us 40 shining gems. And Yuna says,
Thank you. Perhaps you'll teach me again someday?
That's not possible. You have already surpassed your father. There is nothing more I can teach you. My work here on Spira is done. Time for me to go.
But you didn't do anything.
Didn't I? And Auron tells Yuna to send her, and then you can perform the sending. And
if you want.
If you want, you could not do it.
Which I didn't do it.
And if you just want to keep fighting her.
Yeah, because there's some good rewards if you fight her again. They're not as good, but like if you defeat the Magus Sisters again, which again, very easy to do, you get 12 power spheres, which isn't the most effective way to like grind power spheres necessarily. Right. But at this point in the game, it's like I was kind of just feeding a bunch of power spheres to Bahamut, like, he's just shoving those like 30 or whatever into his mouth.
Yeah, this would be a good place to just like, I guess farm them kind of just with like a consistent payout.
There'll be a boss we can get to now, actually, that you can get like 60 plus every single time consistently.
Exactly. Yeah.
But actually, you know what? So, okay, I'll just finish by saying, and then we send her, and she tells us, it is in your hands. Save Spira, and defeat Sin. And then we receive the Moon Sigil.
Hell yeah.
Yeah. So we're getting a lot of these sigils and crests. We're like all crested and sigiled up.
Hopefully they'll come in handy someday.
Yeah. So we're done with Belgemine. Belgemine has been sent. That's the end of her chapter. And I know that we
ended her whole career.
I know that we don't really have a episode listed for this. I know we keep bringing up the monster arena, right? And we really haven't gone in depth about the monster arena. Maybe we will in the next episode. But it is a huge part of everything we're doing, right? Like, we've already said that, like, to get the item that we need to get into the Mega Sisters chamber, we need to do the monster arena. To do this, we have to do the monster arena, So, like, if you're playing along with us,
we need to do the monster arena.
Yeah. So if you're playing along with us, do the monster arena. Like, go capture 10 of every fiend in the world. Just go do it. Like, it's going to take a long fucking time, but it's worth it.
For our listeners, I have been using ffxarena.com, and it basically is just like a Pokedex that you can, it saves your progress, and you can say what areas you want to go through, what species, and you can even just go by rewards. So if you see an item on there you like, you can just click on it, and it'll tell you exactly where you need to go.
Yep.
And what you need to capture. It's really handy.
Yeah.
Yep.
It's super handy because there's no real way of tracking this in game. Like, you can go
unless
to the
you
monster...
go talk to, not only tracking progress on these like quests, it's more like you can track how many you've caught by talking to the guy, and he'll see what you've captured or whatever.
The most powerful man in Spira, who, if he wanted to, he could just end Sin himself because he...
Or any of those fucking summoners of the Dark Aeons.
Like he makes some real nasty and hard to beat bosses that are really good for a lot of grinding that we're going to be doing late game.
Yeah, right. Which is now,
baby. So get to it.
Yeah.
What I've been doing is just kind of like, as I'm doing other stuff, just mindlessly going to different areas and hacking away at it. Like, I'm not dedicating like an entire like 12 hours or whatever to only doing this. It's kind of just like,
fucking did.
I'm just kind of like, okay, you know what? I'll go to the Calmlands and try and catch all the monsters as I'm just sitting here and watching Twitch or whatever.
That's what I put on a television show. And I would just be like, all right, I got like 5 seasons of this. Let's just start fucking capturing monsters.
Yeah. Shout out to anyone who did this on PS2 when you were just stuck to a TV and didn't really have anything else like that you could watch or do, probably because it was years ago when you only had one TV in a room and not one in your pocket.
All right. So flipping the script entirely and going somewhere way different. Next, we're going to be going to the Omega Ruins. And I would say let's go to break, but my little asterisk, my little, not caveat, but my little additional thing to say with break is this is going to be the longest break that we've ever taken because the amount of difference in power between beating Belgemine and being able to beat the boss of Omega Ruins is so fucking massive that, like, just imagine that, like, during this, like, little break tune, or whatever, we've captured 10 of every monster around Spira, have power leveled considerably, and come back from break being able to break the damage limit and just be fucking like gods at this game. That's the kind of like power difference that you're gonna need here.
I'm excited to talk about our strategies. And
me too.
I just beat it like as we were setting up to record. Yeah, it took a while.
This is basically a weapon fight, so I'm following tradition with the previous weapon fights when we were talking about them in previous seasons. So we'll see how I fared in this one.
All right, see you when we get back.
See ya.
The Omega Ruins, which can be found using the Sphere's Finder and fucking clicking around on the GPS.
And going to the google.com.
Going to google.com.
It's at the Archipelago on the northeast side of the map, underneath some clouds.
Cloud, you say?
A cloud. There's no entrance to this ruins. I assume we just, I don't know how we get in here. Because we just when we arrive, we are inside.
We're just there.
That's right. Yeah.
I was like, oh, I must have seen this cutscene and didn't save it, and then because we're just here, and then I'm like, wait, no, I don't think I did. Like, it's very strange.
Yeah, but when we get into it,
inside the Omega Ruins,
obvious exits are none. There are none.
There's no. I mean, we're just we gotta somehow. We can only get here by plane, even though it's underground.
So here's what we've learned, is that Rin set up and modified all of the save spheres in Spira to let us teleport in between the Fahrenheit and the ground, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
And there is a save sphere in the Omega Ruins. Ipso facto, like, Rin is an eternal being, like, who has been here, and like
I'm wondering if it's more so like Dark Souls rules where certain bonfires are already kindled for you. Like this has just always been that level of sphere.
Yeah, a level 3 one.
It was modified.
Rin's ancestors have set up this
you
sphere.
you look at that man's shredded abs and you tell me that he did not dig into the Omega Ruins with his bare hands and fix this fucking sphere up.
That is a very good point, but we arrive via whatever sorcery gets us here, and
it's the same tech that gets us to the big game.
Yeah. But it immediately starts a cutscene where Titus is like in this like weird dark cave with cool purple like gamer lights all around it.
Purple is pretty strong, if it's RPG logic, right?
It's true. That's true.
Right.
Or MMO, yeah. And then Riku is running forward, and Titus just says, "What is this place?" And Lulu says,
700 years ago, a monk who defied the teachings was sentenced here.
and then Waka's like, "Oh, the traitor Omega, yeah," which is like,
that seems a little ham-fisty. Like, wait a minute, he was just named Omega. Fuck off.
his name was Bert Bad Guy.
Yeah.
Like, this is a place like of legend, and like Lulu just knows of it. Like, oh yeah, we're here.
Yeah, here we are.
The city of gold. If you've heard of it.
NBD.
It's his name was Maximilian Power, but he went by Max. But I also want to point out that yes, as we talked about, it's a capital O, so he wasn't just calling him like the traitor Omega, as in like, oh, he's an Omega.
He's a real big
He was
traitor.
a super traitor.
He was a mega traitor, but he was Irish.
Omega traitor.
Omega, yeah. There's an apostrophe. Yuna says Omega's loathing of Yevon has turned him into a fiend. And like as she's saying that, we kind of get a view of this fiend. Like the camera's just kind of like
shadowy.
It's like a shot from Alien where you just kind of see like a piece of it, like just a little bit of its face, or like a close up of its maw or whatever.
Yeah.
It's really cool. And Waka says they say he liked it underground, out of the light. And Titus says, so he's here. And then Arin's just like scared, and Titus is like, not a chance. And it's like everything in this cave is super dark. And like when we got here, I was like, this is just the monster of the week episode of like the X-Files, where like you know, we're gonna meet the Fluke Man and shit. Yeah, it's really good.
So this dungeon, right? Like, it's got some weird fucking things going on with it.
This dungeon has a lot of weird shit in it.
Yeah.
So when we enter it, I don't know, is there a way to actually look at like the overmap? But like the mini map is incomplete when we arrive. It completes as we walk around, which I think helps us figure out where we haven't been, because this is quite a spread out dungeon. It's pretty big compared to I guess any dungeons we've been to.
That's fair.
Yeah.
It's the closest thing to a dungeon, I guess, in this game so far.
Yeah,
so
it felt kind of like a Skyrim dungeon.
The first thing you'll notice about this dungeon is that you'll get into an encounter and it'll just fucking kill you. Because all the encounters in this area are like little mini bosses to themselves.
Yeah,
so
they're
like,
all super versions of other shit that we fought.
It's like, fuck you, it's 2 Defender of Z's.
2 Defender Z's, eat my ass. Yeah. 2 Demonoliths. Like, you attack them and then they just fucking turn you into stone every time you attack them with anything.
We haven't talked about, so the Demonolith is a new enemy, but I think it's the closest thing to like the demon wall in like, it's kind of a recurring enemy. It basically looks like a demon wall, but it's basically just a fossil that has
It's a fossil. It's like they cut a fossil out of the ground and then it became sentient, but the ground is still stuck to it. Like, it's so good.
Yeah, it's really cool.
There's like occasionally you'll encounter an Animantoise, which is a giant fucking like Gamera looking turtle.
A big fuck off turtle, yeah. That's just super strong and has a ton of HP. You just sit there for days trying to go through it.
Yeah, it's got a ton of HP and a ton of defense. So if you use like mental break and you use defense break or whatever the Arn thing is, like, then it becomes way more bearable of a fight. But otherwise, you're just there forever. There's
the Varuna. Is that how you say it?
Oh god, the Varuna. Those guys are rare, and also they look like a fucking
they look like the devil.
With big fucking arms. He's like a scyther, but like a demonic scyther.
They come in and cast haste on themselves. Even if you have first strike, they will go first and cast haste on themselves.
They always go first. And I found them to be kind of easy to deal with, because
they're actually not as bad as some of the other ones.
They're super cool looking, super scary, but if you just cast Dispel, then they like prioritize hasting themselves again. So you pretty much just
Species Spell Spinner. Interesting.
They have a lot of, like, the thing is they can cast like super devastating magic that will just one hit KO you, but like you can dispel them and like take. Oh, that's the thing. All these enemies have a way to deal with them. Yeah. But unless you know that way, it's gonna be real rough. You know, it's gonna be real hard going.
Yeah. The way that I dealt with enemies in this place was used haste on my whole party with Titus. Use reflect with Yuna on herself, and then like with Yuna and with Lulu, just cast flare on Yuna over and over and over again to just get like no problem, or like just cast Ultima with double cast, because they're all pretty, like, the hardest part I had with these enemies was trying to capture them, and then I was like, I'm going to save capturing this for later because this seems like there's a lot going on here. So eventually I just put on no encounters because I was like, I can do a lot more. That is the strat. I was like, I can do a lot more like better level grinding elsewhere. And also I'm not trying to capture anything. So I'm just going to do that.
Yeah, if you come here like once you're able to, these enemies can just do quad 9 damage to you, like per turn.
Easily. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
They're fast and they hit hard, yeah.
Yeah. There's an encounter with 2 black elementals, and oh god, what's that thing in the middle of the black elementals?
A spirit, right?
Is that what it's called?
They are extremely dangerous when fought with spirit because they can cast berserk.
Oh, it is spirit. Yeah, you're right.
They're like a palette swap of those things we saw in Thunder Plains.
Right. Yeah. Okay. So I'm gonna take that sentence again. So there's an encounter with 2 black elementals and a spirit, which is also a motherfucker, because the spirit will just counter with berserk, and the black elements can just not be taken down with physical attacks, and they'll cast flare on you constantly. So like you'll just be like, okay, I need to get this guy in the middle out of the way, and then just you're done. Like you just get berserked and it's over. So like I game overed on them a couple times.
Yeah.
But they can be silenced, if I recall correctly. A lot of these enemies can be.
Like we said, it's pretty much just like a do you know the strat, and then can you like do the strat before you die, and it's pretty manageable.
Or run.
One strat that's lame is if you run into the Great Marlborough, which will always get the first turn unless you have first strike on.
Which I made sure I did because I wanted to make sure that Titus could flee if need be.
Yeah, because if you run into a Great Marlborough...
Nope. I'm out of here.
Dude, it will use bad breath. Yeah.
It will kill you. You're done. Like, you have lost. If you run into fucking Great Marlborough and don't have first strike, it's over. Like,
that's pretty much just a Final Fantasy staple at this point. Like, if you see Marlborough, you're fucked.
Yeah, you're just fucked. But if you have first strike, at very least you can run. Or you could set up something to counter bad breath and prevent it.
Yeah, like at this point, I think I found an item somewhere, like a really good item for Yuna that's like a ring that has auto regen and also ribbon on it.
Ribbon.
So like, I don't have to worry about Marlboroughs too much. But, I mean, anytime you see it, it's still going to be a worry. But
if you have ribbon at this point on anything, then you're doing good.
You're pretty good. Yeah.
So that's a big part of it.
One encounter I kind of have systematically kind of avoided is, or at least avoiding triggering a certain part of it, is Zarus plus a treasure chest, question mark? So the Zarus are like those little, like, they're lizards, but they aren't really strong, but if they get a hit on you, they can cause sounds.
They can petrify you, yeah.
Yeah, I got killed by a gang of 3 of them in the Stolen Faith cave. And like, oh yeah, these guys are no big deal, and all of a sudden game over because everyone turned to stone. I'm like, it's like I gotta make sure someone has stone proof so we don't fucking.
Yeah, it's like what the fuck are the other 4 party members doing? They're just sitting there and they're like, well,
we're going home.
Yeah. We're going to home, which no longer exists.
Right.
So if you miss the Albed primers there, you can't get them, which I learned the hard way.
But the Zarus is occasionally with a chest, which, you know, if you have Riku or anyone with steel, you can just like get an item from, unless.
Right. Unless
it is a mimic, which I got game overed by a mimic because I didn't really realize there are apparently different types, maybe 4 different variants of the mimic.
Yeah.
But
it looks like just a floating pile of debris, I think.
Well, sometimes it's floating, sometimes it's on the ground. It depends.
Yeah, depending on what.
Either way, it has like almost like a poltergeist. Like there's a spirit, there's like a core of it, like an energy, but it's surrounded by like debris. They're on the ground or flying or.
They're super cool.
The one that emulates the shape of the zoo or whatever, it looks like a big zoo made out of
the flying one,
yeah. It's tough, dude. It doesn't take a lot of damage from anything. Like, and that's where I never use magic really because, like, I can break damage limit and everything. So, like, the physical attack, eventually physical attacks just overpower magic entirely. But dude, it just wouldn't take physical damage, so I was just like, oh, it's flare time, baby. And like I was able to eventually get it down through a fucking billion casts of flare.
Yeah, because I think that one has like 60,000 HP and all the other ones have like 40,000 or something like that. Like it takes quite a few. Like luckily for me, I just have double cast, so, and with Yuna I also have half MP cost, so it's pretty much just
you also can't run if once the mimic is triggered, because I had bad luck, like, okay, I'm just not going to touch any chests in battle anymore.
Right.
Because it's not worth it right now.
But yeah, eventually it could be worth it because they guarantee if you defeat them, if you have a mimic in your battle, you have to defeat it or get a game over because you can escape from it. But if you defeat one, you get a guaranteed drop of 50,000 gil. Or if you have Gillionaire, you get 100,000 gil. Which, again, not the fastest way to like make gil in this game. There's better ways, but also right now, like,
it's pretty frequent encounter, so like at least
it's pretty helpful.
A chance to get one with the chest at least.
Yeah, so I jumped up like double the amount of gil that I had, so I'm at like 60,000 now.
Right.
Without even like trying.
They are susceptible to Demi, Doom, and Orange Shooting Star though, so that's good to know.
Oh, nice. Interesting that they're susceptible to like Doom. I feel like nothing in this game is susceptible to Doom.
Yeah, it's like a waste of a turn.
Yeah. Because I've tried to use Death and Doom several times just to be like, no, this time I'm going to use it. And like just common enemies out in like the fucking Calm Lands. It's like, nope, immune.
Yeah.
Like, what?
But yeah, do we want to talk about like the way that this, like we already talked about, you build the mini map as you walk along it. Do we want to talk about like what you actually do here? Because there's some pretty interesting things.
These fucking chests.
There's chests throughout. It's like a long walk. Like it took me forever to get to like. It takes you forever to get to the boss from the save sphere, because there's no other save sphere in this area.
Well,
entire
if
dungeon.
you have your encounters off, it's not that bad.
That's
like,
true.
It's still long though.
It's a long trek.
And if you have to keep making the run back to the boss, it's long.
But yeah, there are chests which I guess have. There's no.
Do any of you understand the mathematics behind these fucking chests? Because I looked it up and it's.
No, and I don't think it's worth it.
It doesn't sound worth it.
I'm pretty sure also the people who do understand it and who spelled it all out completely and said, this is what you have to do, I'm pretty sure they said, it's up to you to decide if this is worth it, because it's not really worth it. So basically there's 12 chests strewn throughout.
4 groups.
Yeah, there's 4 groups of chests. I think the first one has 2, the second one has 3, and then there's like 4 and then a secret one or something. I don't know. That's not the math we're talking about. What the math is, each of these groups have a likelihood to have one of the chests be a mimic. So what that means is if you open it up, it just gets you into this battle with that one enemy and the treasure chest, which you can then turn it into the mimic or whatever, because as soon as you open up the chest, it kicks you into a battle. And if that happens, you should reset. If you want to like complete this quest. Yeah. Because if you open all of the chests, you get 99 of an item, right?
Warp
You get 99
spheres.
Warp spheres, yeah, which is
Oh my god.
good, but is it worth it?
Yeah, because
Especially
like
with the power leveling of being able to just walk around, like maybe for customizing, but even then,
because like the chances of like, because like there's a thing of what the chances are of having no mimics or whatever, because each one has like a certain percentage chance, and what happens is if you open a chest that has a mimic in it, all of the other ones in that group disappear and now you can't open them, so they're gone forever. So if like the first one you open in a group of 4 is the mimic, you just miss out on those 3 other chests, right? But they each have like a 50% chance, so like the chances of getting 2 of them not to be mimics is only 25%, right? Because it's 50% times 50%. And so each subsequent mimic, or each subsequent chance is times 0.5. So at the very end, there ends up being like a 1 in 10,000 or something. Or something crazy that like,
it's
that
the
you can
kind of
actually get through
thing,
it.
like the more I think about it,
1 out of 240.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's basically like if you were playing through Ocarina of Time and you go to like Castletown at night as a kid and play the treasure chest game, where it's like you either get rupees depending on how far deep into it you get, or you have a 50% chance of getting a key, and then at the very end you can get a piece of heart. It's like doing that without the lens of truth to guarantee where you know which it is, but you don't have the lens of truth. So, and like Alex said, this is a big dungeon, and walking around, even with no encounters, if you're trying to get these 99 spheres by rolling the dice each time.
Yeah, it's so weird. It's such a weird thing.
It takes forever. Like, and
luckily,
I kind of,
on the PS2 version, apparently it seems like less of a hassle, because the RNG resets every time you load the dungeon itself. So you could just like go back, save, turn off the console, and check a different chest.
Yeah.
So you do one
so
chest
you
at a time instead of trying
yeah.
to do them all at once, which is I think the remasters does, it saves it.
Yeah, like the remaster, I think if you like reload a save or something, it basically is like now you can't win.
Mm-hmm.
Something like that. I forget the specifics of it. I learned enough about it to be like, yeah, fuck it, I'm not doing this.
Luckily, they never made a mistake like this again, especially not in FF12, where it's this but even worse.
Oh, good. Yeah, it's a questionable thing. Like,
they put like the ultimate weapon in the game is just like a 256 chance, and it's also invisible, so...
Jesus fucking Christ. Yeah, so I kind of just like shot myself in the foot with this, because like at this point I'm like, okay, I'm jumping up in levels, I'm gonna split my saves now. Like before I was like saving twice just to be like, oh, if I have to reload a save for whatever reason, And
Right.
now I can't really do that, or I don't really want to do that. So I got here, I opened the first chest, I found the mimic, and I was like, oh, that was weird. I died to the mimic. I went back, like, had that back and forth, and I was like, oh, I wanted to, like, do this. I loaded a couple of times just, like, trying to see what was going on with this mimic. And then one time I didn't get the mimic in the first set of chests, and I was like, oh, that was weird. And then, like, but I realized I did something wrong. So I reloaded it. I got the mimic again or something, and then, like, saved. And I was like, okay, I did what I wanted to do. I got the gill from the mimic. I'm going to save now. And then I was like, oh, wait, I didn't open all the chests. And I saved. And now I would have to go back probably, like, 15 hours to the last save. And I'm not doing that.
Forget about it.
Forget about it. Yeah, it's not worth it, dude. Nothing in there is worth it. It's fine.
Yeah.
So that's weird.
You can get a if we go down a ways, there is a glyph in one of these rooms.
You know what is funny is I am literally looking up Omega Ruins glyph.
I think there's a map on the fandom.
So
that
I
you
didn't
can
realize
look at
what it
that kinda
was, but so yeah, going down you see a glyph that doesn't react when you interact with it. I should say it doesn't counter react to Titus. But if you go down to like one of the chambers, like deep, you can interact with that glyph, and then you come back up and interact with the first glyph. It creates a bridge, like a land bridge. Like you walk over, and like the earth comes up from the ground, and it leads like bit by bit until you find a chest, and there's a teleport sphere.
Oh, I didn't get that. I was wondering what that did.
Yeah,
It's a cool chest. I mean, it's pretty, I don't know, frivolous, like, but it is cool. Like, oh, cool, a teleport sphere. I can use that.
yeah.
I'll use it eventually.
I think, and that's not the thing that we got a 99 of in the other case, right?
Right.
Yeah. But that allows you to go, it's like the warp sphere, except you can go to, so the warp sphere, you can go to any node on the sphere grid, whether or not it's been activated. The teleport sphere lets you go to any activated sphere.
Right.
So you can like, it's like the friend sphere, except you can go to like, oh, I can just, if like Kamaria Ultima, I can just teleport to Ultima now.
Yeah. Lock myself behind.
Yeah, if he's...
Speaking of Ultima...
Oh, yes.
I guess we pretty much have talked about the dungeon now, right? Or is there more? Do we want to talk about?
Yeah, there's like a few areas, but we can go into the natural progression, which is we get to an area where it almost looks like a shrine, right?
Yeah.
With kind of a teleport pad in the middle of it.
Now
we're fucking ambushed.
I'm very glad that y'all did what you did for this encounter, because as I was saying, I, in my playthrough, have already started to power level a little bit. So I went in here and just fucking, like, mopped the floor with this motherfucker. I was just like, I'm doing 5 nines of damage. Eat my ass.
I did not have any problem with this boss, really. It was kind of a thing where I was like, okay, I could see how this could be difficult, but it's really not a problem. Because, again, I'm using the Reflect, Double Cast, Flare with 2 characters. Not a problem. Like, I don't even need to worry about the what's it called, the Wings to Discovery strat or anything. I can just dish out damage, and I'm like, this is easy and manageable.
So this is a boss. It is a weapon boss, but is it an Omega weapon boss?
It is
no,
Ultima
this is
weapon.
Ultima weapon. I was like, that's
Ultima
kinda
weapon.
Weird. I'm like, that's kind of weird. He is Omega, and he transformed into a fiend that is Ultima weapon. Okay, whatever.
Yeah, which, you're like, I've played FF7 and FF8. Okay, I get it. Here's both of them here. It's fine.
Yeah.
Actually, wait, I guess 8 has both too, but yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, we just like get like ambushed by this thing, and even Walk is like, "You're kidding me!"
Yeah. I do like the design of this boss a lot, though.
Super cool.
It is just Ultimate Weapon from FF7, except with kind of a pinkish, grayish palette on it.
Yeah.
I mean, actually, I guess, Ultimate Weapon did have the 4 legs on its body and then 2 arms, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, just look up. I mean, if anything, this actually is this one is closer to Ultimate Weapon from FF7 because it has like the 4 legs and is purplish/pinkish.
Yeah.
It's just way more detailed.
Yeah. It has a cool like headdress on too. I think it's pretty neat.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, headdress. It has these cool tassels on its nipples. I think.
Yeah, that it do.
Or I guess they're more like on its pauldron like accents. But
yeah.
And it has like the just like Ultimate Weapon in FF7. It has like the reactor.
Yeah,
Iron Man reactor in its chest.
Yeah.
What I really like is it's got like these like wing things that are like curled, so it's just like circles on the back of it, kind of like sort of like Bahamut, but like, you know, like 2 of them. But like it'll use that as a move by like unfurling them and then just shooting a bunch of fucking lasers at you.
Yeah,
It looks like
right.
a plant or something like asparagus or like aloe.
Yeah.
Damn asparagus bosses.
You can steal I think with Master Thief you can get a guaranteed 20 Door to Tomorrow steals, which is really good for customizing. I think we were talking about that a little earlier. So I just stole like a bunch of those.
Yeah, I use those to add overdrive to AP on my weapons, which allows me to basically just earn more AP instead of build my overdrive meter, which is pretty good for leveling up.
Now, you can, depending on how bad you are at the aforementioned Chocobo races, you can bribe this guy for 99 pendulums.
Oh.
So that is the thing you could do here. It's a lot of money, though. You have to have, like, millions of gil. You have to literally be a gillionaire.
Yeah. So, again.
But I do like that, like, this giant fucking boss, like, this, like, this, like, late game, post game boss is just like, hey, if I give you money, will you go away? And he's like, oh, yeah, that's fine.
It's like, well, if you have that and then I kill you, why don't I just get that?
Yeah, right, yeah.
But anyway, after you kill him, he gives you, like...
Yeah, is there anything else we want to say about him before
Well,
we,
he
like...
has 70...
Because like this, it's weird because like he is this big super boss kind of dude, but like I didn't have that much to say about the fight. You know what I mean? Like,
so
I will have more to say about him in a little while.
the original NTSC release, he only had 70,000 HP. On the HD PAL International versions, he has about almost 100,000. So like just 5 nines of HP, which I didn't really have a chance to do much because I just had Yojimbo do his thing as a Zentamo.
He had
Zentamo.
He had 5 nines of HP, or where I'm at in the game, 1 physical attack's worth of HP.
Yeah, he also drops level 3 key spheres, which is nice.
Yeah, sorry, Carl. You were talking about the. I didn't mean to interrupt you about.
Oh no, I don't give a shit.
Stuff
That's
you
fine.
get, but I was just like, man, we really did cruise through him though.
Yeah, his death animation is super cool. He just like dissipates, like he just turns into like a bunch of like what look like dead pixels or like a missing node in my screenshot and just like disappears. But he gives you a shit ton of AP. He gives you 34,150, or with Titus, who I had the double AP weapon on, he gave 74,150 AP.
Fuck yeah.
Which is a lot of levels.
I am watching the animation. I wonder if it is like just straight up. Even the death animation might be a reference to FF7 because he does turn into that kind of translucent red thing.
Yeah,
that happens in FF7.
Oh yeah,
which is cool.
So yeah, I was like, damn, okay, super boss. We're not super late into the game. I mean, we are at this point, but I'm like, we're not like at the Omega like worst super bosses yet. Like we're not at the Dark Aeons or anything. And then immediately after the battle, Auron says that was not Omega, and I'm like. It's like the SpongeBob Alaskan bullworm thing. Like,
yeah, right.
The bullworm. That's the bullworm.
Yeah.
Just a shadow born from Omega's wrath.
And Waka says, what? So the main man's still around?
The main man.
Yeah, and Titus says, come on out, Omega. Titus is being a little cocky here, which I, too, was also pretty cocky at this point. I'm like, okay, that's Ultima. That makes sense because that was way too easy. Omega will probably be like a bit of a challenge then, at least, right?
Yeah.
And Yuna says, when we meet, I will send it, which is super cool.
Yeah, no, I do love that. The, like, threatening unitone.
Yeah. Should we also talk about what you can get in the chests around here? Because like we said, there's like 12 chests. Sure. It's this weird mini game that's probably not worth it, but you can get level 4 key sphere, a defending bracer, a turnover.
Delicious.
2 level 3 key spheres, defending armlet, 2 friend spheres, another level 4 key sphere, which is pretty good. Phantom ring, Cactuar wizard, which sounds like a cool song by The Who. Warmonger, teleport spheres ×2, and then the 99 warp spheres. If you feel like doing that mini game, which some of that might be worth it, but most of it probably isn't.
Right.
Also, There's there's the final Albed primer down here.
Yes.
Now I can finally read.
We can now speak Albed. Good job, everyone. We've done
We can
it.
finally read, unless you're me, who still missed like 5 or 3 of them in home, which I can't get anymore. And
Oh, well.
Rin can give you 99 of a really good item, which is just another 99 of an item that I can't get. Thanks, game.
What do you get for it? Since we're there, we're
Let's
talking about
see.
it.
W to Z.
Let's see. Albed primers.
Underdogs secrets.
Yes.
Ooh, what do those do? I don't know if I have any of those.
Underdog.
You can use 30 of them to make a double overdrive.
Oh, okay.
Which could
interesting.
probably be combined with the overdrive AP grinding.
Yes. I guess we'll talk about that next episode, right? We'll get into
You
that.
can also... Apparently, you could have also gotten 15 of them if you bribe like a Chimera as well, if you saw them at home.
Oh,
Yeah,
interesting.
if you saw them at home, which...
Yeah, there's
No
no
longer
home
there.
now, yeah.
Yeah, if you had bribe in home and had enough gil to bribe them to
Yeah.
get 15. So I'm like, fuck me, right?
But yeah,
So then we're allowed to progress onward past that little shrine area into what I think is like one of the coolest areas in the game.
Super cool.
I love this area. I was like, this is
it
what
looks like hell.
It looks like hell. We're in hell. That's exactly
Yeah,
what I was
we
going to
made it
say.
to hell.
Yeah, like I was like, this is what the underworld looks like right here. Like we are in hell now. So like, how to describe it? We're in a giant chasm, and in the middle there is a gnarly
Spire.
stone pillar. Yeah, right.
like a
It's
big
a spire. Like it does
spire.
have a tip because
Yeah,
this is another
right.
area where the cameras will be kind of zooming around. But it's basically kind of like what's the fort that you defend in
Fort Condor.
in Boston? Fallout 4. Either way, there's like it almost looks like a giant hexagon with like a platform at each corner. That one that
Yeah.
we've arrived on. I'm not sure if it's a hexagon, but just imagine that, and it's kind of like, or like the Pentagon or whatever. Like each corner surrounding the spire is like a big platform, which you have a
But this
encounter.
this spiral pathway that goes around, it also goes down into the chasm too. So I was
Yeah.
like, dude, we are descending into hell to fight Satan himself. This is incredible.
Yeah, and
There is
also
like lava and shit.
yeah, when
Yeah.
you first arrive, like we just ride the teleport pad thing up here and then jump off, and then we're on like a circular thing that looks like man-made. It's like we're in this chasm, but it looks like there was like a path with these very like, man-made circles.
They're well
Yeah.
kept.
Yeah.
Everything else seems like is in ruins and melted, but like these little giant circle pads, which
Yeah.
suspicious.
Yeah, but what's really cool is if you look, you can see the spire, like the camera's zoomed out pretty far and we can kind of just see everything and take it in. But there's this like weird, gnarly and like ominous, just purple fog just in the center of the spiral that like when you
Yeah.
get like, if we go to the left, like we can kind of see that it doesn't lead to that like fog. So we can either go left or right. And there's a lot of these like, and we can see this on the mini map, there's a lot of these like circular platforms.
Right. And like you were saying, Alex, you get into an encounter when you get there. But
There are 9 total platforms.
So it's a nonagon?
Nonagon.
I think that's
Maybe.
right.
Do 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 do.
A nonagon.
It's not an equilateral by any means. I'm looking at the map and like, oh, it's kind of lumpy. It's more like a jelly bean.
But importantly, there is one move that will win every single one of these fights in one turn.
Is it flee?
It's flee. I just fleed from all of them. I was
So
just like, I
I-
don't have time for you.
When you walk to this platform, you see a certain fiend. It's actually randomized, I think, but appear, which almost like what I think when we fought a Ochu in
Yeah.
Kilika. It's kind of similar thing. You see it, like
Yeah.
you think you have a chance. Either you might be able to run away from them, like actually like on the map or not. But I think you just start.
Yeah, it's like in a
battle
little
with them.
cutscene. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's funny because when you see, so some of the things you can see is like a Tonberry, Master Tonberry, Defender Z's, like or maybe just 1 or 2 of them.
I think you only see one of the thing that you're gonna fight, but sometimes there's 2. Like certain encounters have 2
Oh,
of them.
you know what? Let's talk about Master Tonberry for just a second, if you don't mind.
Sure.
We fought Tonberries that do an amount of damage to you based on the amount of enemies you've killed times 10.
Yeah.
This one does the amount of enemies you've killed times 100. So, for all my characters, that's just death.
Yeah.
That means just one hit KO.
Hold on, let me double check that because
That may not be exactly right. Yeah, check that out.
For me, I was able to survive a lot of those hits.
Oh, so it is still times 10.
Is it really? Oh, what's the difference between the two then?
I think probably just HP and stats.
Yeah, has like twice the HP and
Probably twice the defense and shit.
Well.
the 100 times is the Don Tonberry, which will
okay.
talk about maybe sometime.
Yeah, Don Tonberry.
Donald
Tonberry.
Tonberry.
But yeah, so as we make our way like through here, as soon as we get to one of these platforms, we see like the fiend appear in front of us, and then we get. Interestingly,
the Tonberry
we can
looks
still
huge
run
for
around.
some reason until we start the fight. Like, look, there's a giant Tonberry,
and then you get
the
into
fight starts like it's a normal size. Like,
it's like a foot or two tall.
Yeah. But if we go left, there's only 2 encounters that again you can just flee from, which I didn't know on my first playthrough of it. And there's a treasure chest over there that has a friend sphere in it. You know,
very good,
pretty good. And as we go right, that's when we start making our way to the thing. So when I first did this, I was like, okay, there's all this like gravitas on these battles. I have to do each of these ones. I didn't even try to flee. I just like went through. I wasn't having too much trouble with them, as I was saying earlier. So I did all the battles, and first one I did was the friend sphere one. Then I went all the way back to the save sphere. I was like, better save my progress.
I went all the way back first as well.
I was like, it's probably only a one-time thing. And then I went back again, and I was like, no, every time I load this area, this is going to happen. So I made my way all the way through. I was like, that makes sense. Super battle. Super boss isn't going to be that hard. It'll be like a slightly tougher ultimate weapon. I have to make my way through the boss rush, get to him, and then defeat him. That makes sense. So I got all the way to the end. I used one of my many mega elixirs that I have from, I forget where I got them all. And then I started the battle with the end boss, and we'll... unless there's more stuff you guys want to talk about, should we just jump into the?
Well, I'll tell you that
the big boss.
When we get to the bottom of this spiral and we're ready to enter that spire in the middle,
the big purple cloud, basically.
There's a fog. There's a straight up fucking Dark Souls ass fog wall, like in front of the boss's chamber. But as soon as we're getting ready to walk into it, we hear like a growl, and Orin says,
"It seems we rate his personal attention now."
And then the fog wall lifts, and we're able to fight the actual Omega.
I think, we just walk into it, because I think Orin, after he says that, just walks directly into it.
Yeah. And I think it was like a slightly desaturated Ultima weapon. It's not as pink.
He's got different tassels hanging from him as well.
Yeah, instead of ribbons, he's got like kind of orange loopy ones.
Yeah. I took them as like big
looking
chains or something. I don't know,
Yeah, they are kind of like chains. But yeah, it's a little gnarlier looking. I think it's a tentacle on the back or whatever. It's like wings are green.
And he's exactly the same as Ultima. Easy to beat him, right?
Same exact, easy, no problems at all.
So yeah, if you're playing on...
If you're playing on the PS2 version...
Yeah, so if you're playing the PS2 version, this thing only has 5 digits of 9s.
He only has 1 digit under 10,000.
He has 1 physical attack's worth of HP.
But if you're playing on every other version, it has about 1 million.
Yeah,
it
1
literally
million.
1 shy of a million.
Yeah.
Which,
holy shit.
when I was doing this first fight, I realized like, oh, you can't use sensors, all that. Let me look up how much HP he has. And the first thing that shows up on the fandom is the PS2 one. So I'm like, this will take no time. I have time to like set up my party and like, do a couple of stealing things. Like I stole like 90 gambling spirits because I got 3 successful steals with a master steal, and went through all of it. And I was like, okay, I think I'm getting him down to like where he's going to be almost dead. And then he just used Ultima on me and game overed me. And I'm like, all right, whatever. It feels fair. Like I had reflect, and then I immediately like I saw something bad was going to be coming, so I switched Yuna out, who had reflect on. I was like, if I didn't take Yuna out, he probably would have just like killed himself with Ultima. Not a problem. Went back, realized you could flee. I'm like, this isn't that bad. Went through, did a lot more turns of doing a lot more damage. Still didn't get there. got towards the end of the fight, and he used fucking Nova on me and did 5 digits of damage to my entire party. And I'm like, okay, it's one of these annoying Final Fantasy X things where the boss can just one-shot you if it decides to. Not the end of the world. I can take him down this next time. And this is like leading up to us getting ready to record, because at this point it was like the fights were taking a half an hour each time.
Yeah.
And then I looked and saw that it was actually 1 million, and I had to do some math of like the damage output that I could potentially do. And it's like, if I like use summons and shit like that, it'll take me like 62 turns with Yuna to fucking kill this
3
thing.
divided by.
So I need to come back with all of my Aeons just like at the ready. And I need to kind of use the Magus Sisters a little better, because this is actually the first time I use the Magus Sisters, which is funny because Omega Weapon, you might not know this, but he will absorb water attacks. So when I used the Magus Sisters, they immediately cast Reflect and then started throwing Water Ga at the Reflect and doing like 5 digits of damage, which was absorbed. So it was just healing him. And I was like, oh my God, please do anything else.
God, that rules.
Yeah, so I did not beat Omega Weapon yet, but I think I didn't power level too much yet, and I think I could probably continue doing this. It's going to be like, how much time do I want to waste trying this versus just fucking,
I can tell you what I did.
Can you Zanmato him?
I think you can, but it probably
Yes.
costs a shit ton of gil, which...
I used like half my money thinking I got Zamato like in the bag. Like, it's fine. I'll just like throw, 200,000 money, and then like Yojimba's like, no, it's fine. Like, he didn't do it. But yeah, so I just beat him right before we started recording, because I got a system down where I could figure out I could survive everything, which thankfully is pretty. If you can like survive Nova, which I think will do over, like, it does something like over 7,000 damage to everyone. Pretty bad, but I was like been power leveling Auron, and now he is at quad 9s. So as long as he survives it,
sure,
it's fine.
You can throw a Mega Phoenix or something, yeah.
So my party was Auron, Titus, and Yuna the entire time, and I had both, because Yuna was kind of the most underleveled. Auron and Titus equipped with Auto Phoenix.
Okay.
So anytime that anyone got wiped out, whoever was alive, mostly just Auron was always alive, would just cast a Phoenix. So that would take care of them without using a turn. Also, I had everyone going pretty fast. It would almost take 10 moves before like Omega had to do anything.
Yeah.
Which is pretty good. So like the first thing you do, you should probably like use Heistaga. I had Yuna there just slowly kind of like adding Protect, adding Regen to everyone, which also helps. So every time we got attacked, usually Auron was the one still alive, even with Nova, and just was able to kind of slowly just whittle him down. I think it takes 100 hits of quad 9, which was Auron guaranteed.
I was gonna say, like, that's the thing is, like, even at this point, trio of 9s, which was a game-breaking thing, is like not even good enough now. It's like, yeah.
But I had Yuna be able to like basically slowly kind of. Zamato didn't work, but I was able to just wait until Yuna had like her overdrive and summon, and like I had Mega Sisters do their Delta attack.
Yes.
I had Anima do Oblivion. I had everyone do their overdrive.
Dude, if you roll
that took it down a little bit by bit, and also just like the whole game was just Yuna wailing on him with overdrives and Auron just wailing on him with quad 9s, and that was eventually. I beat him like literally as Carl was away or was troubleshooting his stuff.
Yeah, as I was troubleshooting my stuff, I was also doing that, and that's when I was like, okay, I have one more Aeon that I could like sacrifice, because my thing was like, when it's about to attack, throw in an Aeon, have it do its shit, take some of its damage down, make it a little more manageable, and then when that dies, then I get a whole nother round of like 9 turns per thing where I can just really dish out damage. I was doing that, and then the only Aeon that I had left was Yojimbo, and every time Yojimbo dies in battle, it decreases your compatibility, making it like harder to get. So I was like, I don't want to sacrifice Yojimbo, but I'm sure I can probably survive the next attack. And I threw Ultima, and I'm like, hell yeah. Yuna's got Reflect on, she'll survive, Mega Phoenix, Mega Elixir, whatever, like, this, I can finally take it down. And nope, Ultima doesn't get reflected. Fuck
Yeah, I was
you, game
getting
over.
ready to ask that. I was like, does Ultima get reflected?
It does not. So
Protect is like the only way I was able to kind of get. Yeah, I just like cheering and protecting to get everyone's defense up, and like everyone was able to survive Nova.
Yeah.
So I need to do.
But I think it's like around 30-ish like moves he will do Nova.
So the thing that sucks about this battle too is at any point he could just be like, oh, I'm just going to attack, and he will attack randomly and do like 5 digits of damage. So if he hits Yuna, it's basically just like, okay, all of the prep that I was doing to get her at like maximum like protection is just gone now, and I need to do that again, which is just wasting time at this point. So it's more or less I just have to have Auron like guard, and then I need to make sure everyone has like mighty guard and stuff, and just like only have Auron in the fight to like block Yuna and hope that Ultima doesn't kill. Yeah, I do have Yuna with auto regen, which is helpful.
That's cool.
But-
I use so many fucking like mega potions doing this,
Yeah.
just to make sure like I don't know what his next moves are going to be. I make sure that like that Auron has like is at least maxed out.
So I wasn't so like I said, I was doing enough damage now that like I can pretty much swamp through these bosses. But at this point I hadn't done like I hadn't completed the sphere grid or anything when I was doing Ultima and Omega. So even though like I keep joking that like, oh, he has, one hit of max power physical attack, I wasn't at that point yet, but I was at a point enough where they weren't a big challenge. Neither of them were. But I have been feeding power spheres to Anima, like just over and over every time I get, because I've been capturing, right?
Yummy.
Like before
Yeah.
I did this, I was like, I'm just gonna go through. I'm gonna capture all the critters in Spira, and like in doing so, you fight so many fucking enemies, and so I just kept like getting maximum spheres. So I just feed them all to Anima, and then like Anima's attack is a certain level above Yuna, right? And so like Yuna leveling up makes Anima even stronger. Anima getting power spheres makes Anima even stronger. So when I came in to fight,
So feed Yuna power spheres.
yeah. So when I came in to fight,
Peel him like an orange.
yeah, right. So I came in to fight Omega, and I just went straight Oblivion first thing, and it was like 60% of his health in one
Yo,
hit. I was just like,
fuck yeah.
yo!
Yeah, if you get her overdrive and Anima's overdrive, like
Oh
saved
yeah,
up,
because you could do Anima's overdrive,
Dismiss.
and then do Yuna's overdrive to give Anima another overdrive, and just fucking
Yeah.
like roll through them. But like I was doing well enough that like, and I had like 2 celestial weapons at this point, so I was able to do in the tens thousands of damage too. So
wow.
Nice. I imagine Yuna eating power spheres is just like the Shelbyville guy eating the lemon.
The lemon.
She bites into it and just makes the sour face, but is like trying to look tough.
Oh, I was thinking of like Ed and Eddie with the jawbreakers is
Oh yeah.
absurdly large in their cheeks.
Yeah, so we'll see if I want to keep going with this strat that I have, because I think the levels that I have, like, I'm by no means, like, I only have, like, some of the sphere grid. Like, I've reached, like, the end of everyone's sphere grid with them, except for, like, Auron and Waka, I think, at this point.
Yeah.
What's
I think-
Auron's HP for you right now?
Not enough is the answer. It's like, I think it's, like, 5,000 or something. But
Oh yeah.
I think I can get, like, lucky and, like, clever enough to just scrape by. I'm going to try and do that, but also it takes like a half an hour per attempt, and I don't really have a whole lot of free time. So
Yeah.
I'm like, at one point I'll probably just be like, okay, I'm going to go in power level and come back and beat the fucking shit out of this
I was
guy.
gonna say, so starting here, this is the episode where I'm gonna draw this line and be like,
Yeah.
shit gone get wacky as soon as we get to the next episode. So next week we're gonna do the celestial weapons. So we'll talk about all the fucking mini games that you have to do to get those and all that stuff. And I mean, mostly actually, it won't be like leveling and bosses. It'll be goofy mini games that we all complain about, right? Like that'll be
Yeah.
like what we're talking about. But shit gon' get wacky from this point onward. Like, doing 4 nines of damage, like starting next episode is gonna be like 4 nines of damage. You are way too weak to even be thinking about this. Like, you need to be doing at least 50k. Like, so it's getting ready to get dumb. Like starting right now. So if you're playing along at home with us, let her rip. Fucking pull the ripcord. We're doing it. Like, we're going all in next episode. It is power leveling time. It is celestial weapons time. It's time to get dumb.
Hell yeah.
Just Google Don Tomberry AP grind and you'll know what I've been doing.
Yes.
Yeah.
Because it's just like, how do I fucking get enough levels in like
No time.
without having to just like slowly chip away at enemies.
You're gonna get enough levels that you're gonna have to learn how to get enough spheres to actually like fit those levels.
Fill the blank ones.
Yeah,
Right?
yeah. Where I'm at in the game right now, because I haven't actually. So I keep saying I've completed the sphere grid, but what I've done is I've completed all of the grid that's there, and so I'm still not strong enough for the super bosses. Like my 3 characters that I have in my party. So I have Yuna, Riku, and Titus as my 3 who I've been going power leveling and like going through the game with, and they have every available sphere learned, all of them, 100%, and they're not even
Ones that are set.
Yeah, and they're not even close to being able to take care of some of the late game shit still. Like,
Oh boy.
yeah. So like all those blank spaces, start fucking filling those in too.
Filling them nodes.
And there's also, you'll get clear spheres as well, which you can use to get rid of spheres that you've learned. So I might be like, oh man, I don't have enough magic defense. I need to eliminate all of my magic defense plus 1s and 2s, and then get magic defense spheres that are plus 4 to be able to get enough stats to be able to take care of this.
So when
It
you
is
clear
upsetting.
them, does it remove? So like, say you go to the one that's like magic defense plus 1, and you clear that negates 1 from you, and then you add a 4, so it's like only a gain of 3.
3, yeah.
Okay, so that makes sense. So if I were to like use a clear sphere on like Ultimate, it'd be like, well, you don't have that anymore.
I don't know that you can on skills.
Okay, that makes sense.
Maybe, but I haven't
Does
tried.
it erase? I'm assuming it erases it for every other player,
Yeah,
every other
yeah.
character too.
Yeah.
So you make all your other characters weaker to make your squad
Yeah,
stronger.
you'll just have to slowly like upgrade. The nodes that have like you were saying, plus
Also,
X, Y, and Z.
So you can pick. So
It is funny because I am starting to see some like there's a key sphere here, but this doesn't lead anywhere. It's just a blank node that you can unlock.
it's just to put things down in.
It's so funny.
As soon as we started unlocking,
I hate this game.
It's real estate, baby.
It's free real estate.
that's free real estate. As soon as we started unlocking them and they were blank, I was like, oh, okay, I have these other ones where I can put stuff down. I could see how that would make sense in the late game.
Yeah, and we're there.
Yeah, it seems like it's this.
It's gonna
this
be
is such a cool system though. Like,
get ready to double your playing time. That's all I'm saying. Whatever you put into it, like
I'm
like
at
how
like 70 hours now.
it's so funny to
Yeah.
think of this too, because I've been thinking about it a lot, because I was also doing some like lightning dodge practice, which we'll talk about more in depth. But like I was realizing, like every time I do this, like
In death.
even in depth.
every time
yeah.
I fuck up, it's like the fastest I could possibly do this is like maybe 14 or 15 minutes. So every time I put like 9 minutes in and then fuck up and have to go back, it's like,
Yeah.
that sucks. And then I'm like, but I also played Animal Crossing like when it first came out for like 250 hours with like no problem and doing significantly less. So I need to like
There's no
reshape.
permadeath in Animal Crossing though.
Yeah, but I just need to like reshape my brain on and how I like perceive of this. Where I'm like doubling my playing time, and I'm like, I've done the first 5 minutes of Dark Souls for like probably like 24 hours at this point. Like,
Well, there's
this
all-
is fine.
The good thing too is that like as we go through this, like we're gonna be unlocking monsters in the monster arena, and so like you'll put so many strength spheres and defense spheres in to where like the numbers don't even feel like they mean anything anymore. But now you'll be able to just take on that next super boss in the monster arena, and so there are like check marks of like, oh, I'm this strong now, oh, I'm this good now.
It's the Dragon Ball Z of like Final Fantasy games, in that it's just like, oh my god, like there's this new guy.
We spent 3 episodes powering up before we defeat Sin.
Exactly.
Now, dear listener, if you're playing along with us, and depending on how optimal you want to be, and if you want to beat Penance and do it optimally, you also want to start playing Blitzball here. Just FYI, like it's going to be one of those. Because here's the thing: you can go through these super bosses and everything with any 3 characters you want, whichever ones you want. You just need to make sure you can get their celestial weapons. And so I got the celestial weapons that were the least pain in the ass, and I was like, that's my team. I'll do the other ones later. Just whichever ones I can actually get. Like that'll be the team I go with. So
yeah, I just like how, like, with everything in late game where I'm like, I'm unstoppable now. I unlocked Ultima and have double cast. Nothing can stop me. And then like what I did recently was I got a Master Sphere, which just allows you to unlock anything despite where it's locked or anything. So I went to the end of Lulu's, unlocked Flare, and then used a Black Magic Sphere to like have like Lulu or Yuna or whoever like didn't learn it, like now they have it as well. And I was like, cool, like this is good. But it's like Dragon Ball Z where it's like, oh no, it's Raditz. How are we going to beat him? Okay, we beat him. Oh no, now we have to beat Vegeta and Nappa. Oh my god. Oh no, now we have to beat Frieza. And like just continually being like, oh, they're not shit now. Like,
oh, I have a picture in my thing now that I've started power leveling. I now have double cast, so it only took me into fucking 20 hours later than Carl to get double cast. I was like, now I'm as strong as Carl is.
While you're doing infinitely more damage than I'm currently doing. And this system is so fucking cool. I really like it.
It's cool in that way because like you're able to utilize a certain thing and I utilize something entirely different up to this point, you know?
Yeah, it's very like everyone's playthrough is going to be a little bit different, and like it's also just cool thinking about it from like a game development kind of style where I'm like,
sure,
this must have taken just hours to like map out and like plan and try and figure out like, okay, well, how can we do this so that it's not too broken and still balanced, and also, and I'm like that,
right.
Whoever developed the sphere grid system, like fucking hats off to you.
It is really good.
It's incredible.
Yeah, agreed.
That's awesome.
Yeah. Anything cool happen after you defeat him? Because I haven't seen anything beyond that yet.
Oren just says,
eat shit, nerd.
Basically, he says,
find your peace on the far plane. Leave Spira to the living.
Ooh.
That's pretty
Which
cool.
is a hell of a thing for Oren to say. Because he's dead.
Like,
yeah.
This bitch won't quit.
Also, I will say this. There is a treasure chest in Omega's room.
Oh.
And as soon as you beat Omega, it puts you back at the entrance. And so I was like, are you fucking with me? I have to walk back down there to get it. And it's a magic sphere. It's not even like anything amazing. I was like, what a bunch of bullshit. So all that shit you just said about how good this game is, fuck this game.
Yeah. At the same time, this game also sucks.
I think that's more for like a reward if you happen to like explore later. Like it's not like a reward for you being Omega. It's a reward for coming back.
Yeah,
like,
sure.
Like, oh, cool, you made it all the way back here. Here's a little thingy for you.
I was like,
it's not worth going down on your own. It's more like a little like, you know, a party favor.
It's like getting a
that's
cutscene
exactly
in the
what it is.
It's a mint on your way out.
It's a fucking set of wax lips. You know, like nobody wants that.
Yeah. Yuna just bites into it and makes the sour face.
Anyway, next week will be the Celestial Weapons. We'll have a great time with those. That, depending on how that goes, that could be a long episode. I'm not sure. It depends on how long we spend bitching about each individual mini game.
Yeah.
I'm not looking forward to this.
No, same.
I'm not even sure how much of it I'm actually going to be doing.
You're not gonna dodge 200 consecutive lightning bolts?
I'll tell you what. I dodged 165.
That's insane. That is insane.
And I'm excited. I'll talk more about it next week.
That's a passing grade.
You would think, but not in Final Fantasy X.
I will be a little bit jealous when you get it because I'll be like, damn, I would love to have Lulu do a physical attack of 5 nines because it would be hilarious to see her put down like the little like Moogler Cactuar, and it like slowly walks up to the enemy and like jumps into them and does 5 nines of damage.
This is the Moomba's redemption.
You're already dead.
yeah, you are already dead.
Hell yeah.
All right. Well, Alex,
help us find our peace at the far plane.
All right. Thank you to Night of the Round for the theme music. Go give them a follow on Twitch. They are currently playing through Chrono Trigger.
Woo.
Yeah.
Wish that were me. God, I wish that were me.
Hey, wait, I'm going to jump in here and say something real quick. Buy and play Bravely Default 2 so you can talk to me about it. I need more friends who are playing this game. It's the best. Okay, sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, past gets the show. Aaron has been playing it too. I know.
That's so good.
All my homies love it. Thank you to Nobuo Uematsu, Masashi Hamauzu, and Junya Nakano for the game music. Rate, review, subscribe wherever you find us. Call us at 530-MATERIA. Someone's been pocket dialing us. Please don't.
That's incredible.
Maybe it's an ARG.
Ooh.
That is slightly more fun than lightning dodging.
It's a good ghost. Find us at every FNFF on all the things. And that was not a podcast, just a shadow born from the podcast wrath.
See you next week.
See you next week, where we'll be very mad, probably.
Or just wait 2 weeks.
Don't let lightning strike you.